Welcome to the Colorado Homes and Living YouTube channel. I'm Jill Jackson.
And I'm Kelly Mee.
And we are local realtors here in the Denver metro area. And we do these videos on a weekly basis to provide the ins and outs of Colorado as well as the real estate market. If you are looking to buy a house in 10 days, 10 weeks, or 10 months, it is never too soon to reach out to us. If you find this content useful, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do have a QR code in the upper right corner of our banner. Our website and phone number will also be linked below.
So today's topic is we are going to be covering questions that you should be asking your realtor if you are thinking about selling. So typically when you go to sell, you're probably going to contact a realtor. Maybe it's a realtor that you used to buy your house or a new one in the area, and they're likely going to set up a listing appointment with you. And many of these things are going to be covered in the listing appointment, but if they're not, they should be on your list of things that you should ask. So the first thing that you might want to know is how long have they been selling homes in the area? How long have they been in the business?
Another question you would consider asking the realtor that you're interviewing is, how long do your listings stay on the market? Now, this question is definitely one to ask, but every year is a different market and neighborhoods will play a big factor in this. Obviously, the condition of your home will play a factor in this and the location of your home. But that is still a great question to ask a realtor that you're interviewing.
Another thing that you want to know is how would the agent determine the price for the house? You don't want an agent that is just going to give you a price just based on what they think they know. You really want to make sure that there's data behind that to support that price.
Another question you might want to ask the realtor that you're interviewing is, how do you handle price adjustments if my home is not selling? That way you can just have a clear expectation of, if your home's been on the market for X amount of days and a price adjustment is necessary, what increments do those adjustments look like?
It's important for you to know the strengths and weaknesses for your house. Remember that these are buyers that are coming into it who have never lived here, and we do have to give you the honest truth about what things need to be fixed, what is going to be appealing, and what is not going to be appealing for any potential buyer.
Another question you might want to ask the realtor that you are interviewing is if they plan to prepare a CMA for you, a comparative market analysis. This will dive deeper into other homes in the area based on similar square footage, beds, baths, and condition to determine a list price.
So you will want to know what is going to be the home marketing strategy. There's a lot of different things that an agent can do to help promote your listing and help you sell it in the least amount of time, but you want to know what that looks like. Most of it's going to be online, and you want to have a clear plan of all the actions that they're taking.
Another question you might ask the realtor that you're interviewing is, do they plan to take professional photos? Do they plan to do a video tour? Do they plan to make brochures? What are some of the things that they're going to do going above and beyond just inputting your property into the MLS to market the home?
And with that, you want to know how the home is going to be marketed in the MLS. What websites it's going to be syndicated to. And for those of you who don't know, the MLS is the multiple listing service that all the listings in the designated area show up in so that buyers can find your home online.
Another question you might ask is if that realtor markets to other realtors directly or to qualified buyers as well, and not just relying on the MLS and open houses, etc.
You also want to have a discussion about how often you will be updated and the information that you're going to be receiving in those updates. It's important that you're in touch with your agent probably once a week so that you can know what's happening in the market and what kind of activity they're seeing in comparison to other homes in the area.
Another question you might want to ask is, will you be working with that realtor directly or will you be working with a team? This will just help streamline the communication. You have a better understanding of the process and the involvement of that agent as well as any other team members. And then, of course, deciding for yourself if you really want to work hands-on with one person or if you want to be in communication with multiple people.
And with those team members, you want a clear idea of what to expect when it comes to showings, feedback, and buyer inquiries.
Another question you might want to ask is how that agent negotiates offers and counter offers. Do they kind of do some negotiating before they've included you in the process? Do they collect that information, chat with you first and get, your take on it or kind of talk through things with you? Those are very important questions to want to know and how they go about handling those things.
And when it comes to offers, you want to know if you should expect multiple offers. And if you get multiple offers, what you do in those situations and how they're handled.
Another question you would want to maybe ask that realtor is what potential issues do you anticipate happening? And then what are you going to do to overcome those issues, if any?
And really, when you're selling your home, probably the first thing that comes to your mind is what are you going to have to pay in order to sell your house? So you want to know what the commission is going to be, how that is split, what to expect to pay to a buyer's agent to bring you a buyer, as well as like what does that service include? So does that include your professional photos and your videos? It includes staging. Does it include open houses and how long your listing agreement is going to be in place? So you know how long you're committed to that agent and the selling process.
Another question you might want to ask that realtor is if they have any testimonials or references that they could provide you just to kind of see what other people have said about them and other people's experience working with them.
As part of the marketing strategy, you probably want to know if your agent is going to be doing open houses. And I know that's a hot topic for a lot of sellers, but I think you should be warned that open houses rarely bring in a buyer for that house. Most of the time, those buyers are not ready yet. And so, is that worth your time to be away from the home and how those open houses really work?
And that about wraps it up for today. Thanks again for tuning in with us on Colorado Homes and Living YouTube channel. Again, I am Jill Jackson,
And I'm Kelly May.
and we are local realtors here in the Denver metro area. And feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you found some of this content helpful. Until next time, take care.